Alright, guys, this album is for you, okay? Let's get the break on. Alright, so this album is called Real Men Rise, and I had a lot of fun making it, but it has a lot of important stuff in there too. Alright, so let's listen to it and then we'll talk about it. Break it down in detail. Alright.
We've been told to hide a fire, push it down, don't climb no higher. But the truth is burning deep inside. We're the ones who hold the line. Every brick, every stone, every hand that built a home, every tear, every fight kept the darkness from the night. Real men don't fade. We stand unshaken, strong hearts, unafraid. Our place won't be taken. This world keeps spinning 'cause we make it turn. Masculinity's fire will always They can try to ride us out, fill the air with fear and doubt, but we rise like thunder in the sky. This is truth they can't deny. Every road that we paved, every life that we saved, we're the roots, we're the flame, don't forget our name. Real men don't fade. We stand unshaken, strong hearts, unafraid. Our place won't be taken. This world keeps spinning 'cause we make it turn. Masculinity's fire will always burn. Hand in hand, we'll carry on. Brotherhood that's never gone. Stronger now, the world will see. You can't erase masculinity. Real men don't fade. We stand unshaken, strong hearts, unafraid. Our place won't be taken. This world keeps spinning 'cause we make it turn. Masculinity's fire will always burn. They say strength is a dangerous game, but without it, the world's not the same. They confuse love with weakness inside, but a real man protects, he won't hide. We don't hate, we don't break. We build bridges, not mistakes. Don't erase the role we play. Without them, the world decays. They can label, they can twist the words, but the truth is louder than what's heard. Love and power walk hand in hand. That's the heart of being a man. We don't hate, we don't break. We build bridges, not mistakes. Don't erase the role we play. Without man, the world decays. I'm not toxic, I'm just true. Strong and steady, that's what men do. We protect, we build, we love so deep. Real men's promises are ones we keep. You can't kill what's meant to be. Masculinity is destiny. Not toxic, not wrong, it's pure and real. The strength of men is how we heal. I'm not toxic, I'm just true. Strong and steady, that's what men do. We protect, we build, we love so deep. Real men's promises are ones we keep. I'm not toxic, I'm just true. Strong and steady, that's what men do. We protect, we build, we love so deep. Real men's promises are ones we keep. Crowns were traded for lies and chains. Told our strength was only pain. But kings don't bow, they rise above. Built on honor, truth and love. Every castle, every throne stood because of hands of stone. History will call surprise, tearing down the ones who stand, blaming men across the land. But the world still runs on sweat and stone. You can't deny the strength we've shown. Wake up, society blind to what is real. You tear down the strong ones, but it's our hands that heal. Masculinity is the truth, it's not a crime. It's the heart of the rhythm, the beat of every bridge, every road, every dream was built by men who dared to believe. Don't erase the backbone of this place. We're the ones who keep the pace. But the world still runs on sweat and stone. You can't deny the strength we've shown. Wake up, society blind to what is real. You tear down the strong ones, but it's our hands that heal. Masculinity is the truth, it's not a crime. It's the heart of the rhythm, the beat of Open your eyes, don't live in disguise. The strength of men is what keeps us alive. Wake up, society blind to what is real. You tear down the strong ones, but it's our hands that heal. Masculinity's the truth, it's not a crime. It's the heart of the rhythm, the beat of We don't always show the pain, but we're the ones who take the strain. Carrying the weight, we stand so tall. We don't complain, we take it all. But don't mistake our silence for stone. Our hearts still bleed, but we don't show. Strong shoulders, we carry the pain through the fire, through the rain. It doesn't mean we're still resound. Every skyline, every home, built by men who dare to own. Hands of iron, hearts of fire, building dreams that will inspire. Builders of tomorrow, brick by brick. Hands of steel, hearts that stick. We rise, we fight, we stand, we give. Without strong men, how can we every tower reaching high, every road beneath the sky, carved by men who won't let go, carrying the world we know. Hands of iron, hearts of fire, building dreams that will inspire. Builders of tomorrow, brick by brick. Hands of steel, hearts that stick. We rise, we fight, we stand, we give. Without strong men, how can we live? We're the roots that hold the tree, the force that shapes our destiny. Builders of tomorrow, brick by brick. Hands of steel, hearts that stick. We rise, we fight, we stand, we give. Without strong men, how can we live? We built the walls of glass and gold, chasing stories we were told. But mirrors crack, the lies unfold. Ashes fall where fire glowed. Every crown will turn to dust. Every idol fades to rust. What we worship, what we trust, never strong enough. From the ashes of vanity, we rise to face reality. The wall we built shine, but hearts grow cold. Empty hands can't hold control. The cost of pride we never showed. Burning bridges on the road. From the ashes of vanity, we rise to face reality. The world we built was fantasy, but truth will set us free. From the ashes of vanity, we rise to face reality. The world we built was fantasy, but truth will set us free. Silent streets where secrets hide, echoes of a broken pride. In the empire we designed, darkness rules the borderline. We were kings with borrowed crowns, but the walls are falling down. Every whisper is too loud. Shadows take the throne now. Empire of shadows, we're trapped in the night, searching for daylight, but losing the fight. Voices are fading, but hearts still ignite. Empire of shadows, we're reaching for Empire of shadows. Every step the ground will shake. Promises we couldn't make. Haunted eyes, mistakes replay, but still we fight another day. Empire of shadows, we're trapped in the night, searching for daylight, but losing the fight. Voices are fading, but hearts still ignite. Empire of shadows, we're reaching for We chased a kingdom built on lies. Every word a thin disguise. smile was just a mask. Every promise couldn't last. The crown was broken glass, and we see it at last. On the throne of lies, we were blind, chained by the stories we designed. Now the walls are falling, breaking time. The throne of lies will never We wore the crowns but lost our soul. Played the part but lost control. Now we're stronger, now we know. We won't bow, we won't let go. On the throne of lies, we ride, chained by the stories we designed. Now the walls are falling, breaking time. The throne of lies will never shine. Through the smoke, through the flame, we stand unbroken, call our name. Side by side we face the night. Together we hold the fight. Every scar, every tear marks the courage that brought us here. We won't fall, we won't break. This brotherhood will never shake. Brothers in the fire, standing side by side. Through the storm, through the pain, we'll never hide. Masculinity's born, unbroken, unbent. This is who we are. This is what it meant. The world may try to tear us down, but we rise, we own this ground. Through the dark, through the fear, Shadows try to hide our ways, but strength is calling from inside. No more running, no more disguise. Every step, every climb, we reclaim what's ours in time. The world can't push us down, we're taking back our crown. Stand tall again, don't bow, don't break. The world can't take what it didn't make. Men of courage, rise with pride. Masculinity's truth can't be denied. Every challenge, every fight, we rise stronger in the night. Bound by honor, bound by fire, unshaken hearts, hearts that inspire. Stand tall again, don't bow, don't break. The world can't take what it didn't make. Men of courage, rise with pride. Masculinity's truth can't be denied. Stand tall again, don't bow, don't break. The world can't take what it didn't make. Men of courage, rise with pride. Masculinity's truth can't be denied. We feel the pain but hold inside. Armor strong with nothing to hide. Every trial shapes our core. Masculinity is something more. Not cold, not cruel, not afraid. Every bond that men have made. Strength is tender, power is real. We've got a heart of steel. Heart of steel. Through the night, we hold the line, guardians of what's yours and mine. Shadows fall, but we remain. Strength and honor in our veins. Every storm we face together, every trial makes us better. No one breaks the bond we keep. Our legacy runs deep. Rise of the guardians, standing strong through the darkness. We belong. Voices deep, hearts unshaken. Our masculinity will not be taken. Every step is built on trust. Every soul shaped from dust. Through the fire, through the pain, we protect, we still remain. Rise of the guardians, standing strong through the darkness. We belong. Voices deep, hearts unshaken. Masculinity will not be taken. Rise of the guardians, standing strong through the darkness. We belong. Voices deep, hearts unshaken. Our masculinity will not be taken. Through the ages, stories told of men who dare, of hearts of gold. We walk the line that they once paved, strong and true, unbound, brave. Every hand that built the world, every flag that's ever unfurled, every fight that shaped our fate. Masculinity we celebrate. Legacy of men standing proud through the silence, through the crowd. Voices deep, hearts aligned. Real men's strength will never Legacy of men standing proud through the silence, through the crowd. Voices deep, hearts aligned. Real men's strength will never
All right, let me set an example, a scene for you, okay? So I'm going to use horses as an example. I grew up with horses, love horses. Hopefully one day I'll have a small little horse ranch, but let's imagine you're a racehorse, okay? And you've been racing for about a year now. You love it. It's just your dream to be just allowed to run as fast as you can, to be free, okay? And to go up against your buddies and see who's best. All right. But one day you're at the racetrack, you're at the starting line, and someone different climbs on your back, okay? She has blue hair, she's about 300 pounds, and the announcers and the refs and all that are these thin little soy boys, okay? And it's not the normal starting pistol that you hear. It's something new to you, okay? But you and the rest of your friends start running, okay? And then this person, this thing on your back, reins you in and tells you to, like, whoa, you can't run. You have to walk, okay? But your urge is to run because that's what you're meant to do. You are a racehorse. You run, okay? And you do your best, and you run to win. But this person on your back is holding you in and whipping you, keeping you from doing what you're meant to do. And you're walking slow, your jaw hurts with the reins being pulled back, your back hurts because of her weight, your ears hurt because of she's yelling at you and demanding that you have to walk slow and walk carefully, to watch where you tread, and the referees and the announcers are all agreeing with her and all citing you with infractions and felonies and all this stuff. Like, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to say that, you're not allowed to run, or you're not allowed to do what you, as a racehorse, are meant to do. And eventually you make it to the finish line, but no No, it was all a tie. So you all get a little trophy, but you know, and the rest of your buddies know that no one won. And the next race, it's the same thing. This fat, blue-haired thing gets on your back, and the start, it's not a pistol anymore, it's a light, almost whispered, go. And again, you try to run, all right? But you're reined in. They rein you in. They're telling you not to run, that you have to walk, okay? And again, your jaw starts hurting because of the reins. Your back starts hurting, and you're accused of doing all these things wrong, okay? And it takes even longer to finish the race, okay? And you get another little small participation trophy, and you get like a good boy, like you need to do better. You were going too fast at the beginning, and then, but you don't feel like yourself. You feel like something's wrong. So the next race comes along, and same person gets on your back. It's the same referees, the same announcers, and you want to run, but you know what's going to happen. But you try it anyway. You start off and maybe even try to buck the person off your back, but you weigh so much, your back hurts, and you know she's just going to rein you in, but you try to run anyway. But she reins you in. And again, your jaw hurts, your back hurts. You finish the race with less penalties. And you get your little participation trophy. And the next race, it's not worth to even try, right? You're not going to run. You're not free. There's no competition. And you and your buddies don't even go. But now they start kicking your ribs. And usually your old jockey, if you wanted you to go faster, he'd just tap you. It's like, come on, buddy, let's go. A little faster, we can do it. And he would encourage you. And you would run faster just for him, just for your jockey. Because you two were a team. And he was gone. Now it's this thing on your back. And now she's kicking you in the ribs. And you're in a lot of pain. And you know that movement, that command, it means they want you to go. So you start going. But you're not even trying. You're going because you have to. And all the rest of your buddies, all their riders, their fat jockeys, wannabe jockeys, we're all doing the same thing. So you as a group just walk, and it's like, you take your time, you're not even trying, and you finish the race, you get your participation trophy, and you leave. Not with no purpose, no reason to keep going, okay? The next race comes around, and you were once one of 10 horses, 10 of the fastest horses of the race, okay? But now there's only 9 of you. One of your best horse buddies isn't there. So you wonder, where is he? Where'd he go? and the buddy next to you said he's no longer with us. He deleted himself because he felt that there was no reason to live. He was one of the fastest horses there, and often, most of the time, he was in the top 3. He was one of the best race horses there were, but he deleted himself. So now you're in pain. You're angry because you feel the same way. You're angry at your buddy for taking his life, and you don't know what to do. You want to run. You want to be free. You want to release this tension and this anger, but you still don't know what she is, but she's 300 pounds of lard with blue hair, with the most annoying voice you've ever heard, but she's on your back and she's in control of you. And you can't buck her off because she weighs so much, and she's now wearing sharp shoes that when she hits your ribs, they're now piercing the skin and making you bleed. Okay? Spurs. I forgot. She's wearing spurs. And now you still don't know what it is. It's not the old pistol. It's not the way it used to be. But you're now supposed to start. You don't even know what it's called now. It's not a race. It's like just a walk, but you're walking all together. It's not even in competition anymore. No one wants to be there. But you finish the walk. You get another participation trophy. Your side is bleeding because you didn't walk enough at the right pace, even though you just don't know what the person that's riding your back wants, because you can't run. There's walking too slow and there's walking too fast. You just don't know what to do. And you've never felt like this in your whole life. So the next race comes along, and you don't want to be there. You're thinking of your buddy who deleted himself, and you're thinking of, would life be better without me in it? You're depressed. You have no reason to keep going. You're not a racehorse. You've gained a bunch of weight. You can't even recognize yourself in the mirror. If your mom saw you, she wouldn't recognize you. And you just stop. It's like, you can thing on my back, you can hit me all you want. I'm not going anywhere. I'm done. But she gets off your back and grabs a whip, and starts whipping you. And you don't like pain, but you can deal with it. But your body starts breaking down, and you close your eyes, and you're done. Guys, is that where we're at? Or can we buck these bitches off and run? Yeah, they're heavy. Yeah, they're annoying. But maybe if we helped each other. It's like, I use the example of a racehorse, which I'm not too into horse racing, but I love when the horse feels free to run They just run. They are free. I wanted to use make an example of a Mustang and how there are several herds, I think the Midwest, or that there are actually free herds of Mustangs. And just watch, if you ever watched a herd of free horses and the way they run, it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. Okay, the freedom, the ultimate freedom. And then you see, I picked a racehorse, so the whole analogy of being controlled and reined in can be understood more, and how so many men are deleting themselves nowadays. And even I myself attempted that. That story's in one of the previous podcasts. You can go back and listen to my story. But this needs to stop. Good men need to take back control. And I'm not saying these liberal woke bitches, I'm not calling for violence. I'm not saying to harm them, but you can tell them no. Unlike these race horses, we as men can say no and go on with your life. Society, as represented by the 300-pound thing on this racehorse's back, only has the control that I give them, that I allow them. Okay? Now, there are laws and regulations that I believe are needed to have a safe and sufficient society to live in. Okay? There are like driving laws and basic laws that you abide by. Okay? Then there are laws, excuse me, that society tries to enforce on you. Okay? Men shouldn't be masculine. There's a thing called toxic masculinity, when there's not. There are evil men and there are good men. Okay? There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There are men that do not control themselves when they should, and there are good men that do control themselves when they get angry. Okay? And it's usually the good men that are putting themselves in defense of society against the evil men. Okay? And society is even tying these good men, I'll just say law enforcement, okay? They're tying one of their arms behind their back and then telling them, protect us. But you can't do this, you can't say this, you can't do that. In order to do this, you have to first do these steps. And in some cities, a bad cop did this, so we're defunding, or we're taking a lot of the funding for your station, your department, and as a discipline or whatever. And now that department can't hire more officers. They can't hire put the officers through good training that will help them do their job better. And I don't think our officers, our male or female officers, know hand-to-hand combat nearly enough to basically I would much prefer to have an officer choose hand-to-hand that they are in control, that can control. And there are ways, even with my limited martial arts experience, which isn't really that limited, there are forms and ways to control the human body without taking the life, okay? The use of joints and pressure points and all that are not used even in the, it's like, officers have died when they could have restrained the suspect in a certain way that if this officer was taught, they could still be alive today. It wouldn't have even led up to the fight or even the attempt of the suspect to grab the officer's weapon, because there are forms and there are ways to cover your weapon and still fight. Okay? Many officers are trained to a certain level of that style of martial arts, but that's not good enough, especially for these women who might be outstanding people, okay? They're one of the best people you will ever meet, okay? And I've known a few of them. Outstanding people. But can she fight a 200-pound man that wants to delete her? Again, I have to be careful because of YouTube. No. In most cases, the female officer is not able to protect herself. And being an officer, she should be able to protect herself and me, a civilian. But I'm sorry to say, but she's more of a liability, because if I, as a civilian, a man, okay, a good man, okay, see a female officer trying to, she's in a fight with a man, she's on the floor, and she's covering her gun, and the man's trying to take it and trying to do harm to her, my first reaction is to protect her, okay? I need to help her. That is my first thought, okay? It's not, oh, I'm going to be in danger. Oh, she might think me as a threat. She might shoot me as I'm trying to help her because she thinks I'm here to help the guy. So I would have to, like, hey, friendly, yelling at the guy to give her the obvious, this man is helping me, and then do what I can to help her. But I as a civilian shouldn't have to do that, because the officers that are meant to protect me and to maintain peace, okay, should be able to have the confidence and training to take out all threats. And I say all threats because I was a police explorer in my teens, okay? Basically, imagine Boy Scouts, but for law enforcement. And we had a kind of like a miniature police academy, 3 weeks long. It was military based, so there was a lot of yelling, a lot of push-ups, especially for me. And looking back, yeah, there were a lot of hard parts, but it was also a lot of fun. And I learned I would not be able to do this podcast if I didn't go through something like that. It taught me leadership, it taught me public speaking, it gave me confidence far more than I ever thought I could have. Okay, and there was this one TAC officer. That's what they were called, TAC officers. And I turned 14 during the academy. Okay, so they had a lot of fun with me at my expense, especially on my birthday. But fortunately, I was not the only one to have a birthday on the same day as mine. There was another cadet with me, so he kind of took the joking and all that, the singing, and anyway, ultimately it was good times. But one of my TAC off, I was my point age, and I was maybe 5'6", 5'7" at the time. And there was one TAC officer that was like, he had a very short crew cut, and when he came up in front of me to do the inspection, I could barely see the top of his hairs. Okay, he was like 5'4", 5 feet 4 inches tall. He was a deputy with the what was it? The Ventura County Sheriff's Department. Okay, I was with the Simi Valley Police Department Explorers. But this deputy, who was about 5'4", 5'5", was the buffest TAC officer there, and there were some buff guys. But this deputy, he was shorter than me. He was about my chin level. But he was also the most badass, buff, loudest I could say other words, but okay, imagine, is it Gunnery Sergeant Lee Ermey? Anyway, what is it? Look up Mail Call, okay? Look up, there's a Vietnam Marine movie, that the majority of the movies in basic training, boot camp. I forget the name of the movie. Anyway, I forget the gunnery sergeants, but he was like, he could be your best friend and your worst enemy, okay? But imagine a Hispanic version of the gunny, okay? But his biceps were like 3 times the size. His anyway, the buffest. Imagine the buffest guy you've ever seen. Double it, but put him to 5'4". Okay, and he was like one of the lead TAC officers, the shortest one, but the one you didn't want to mess with. Okay, you don't want to mess with any of them, including the female TAC officers. She was very kind, but she was the meanest TAC officer besides this guy, the female officer that was my TAC officer. But I only saw the good side of her. It's all good. But the nice side of her, before the academy, during the academy, she was a totally different person. It's hilarious looking back now, but they did their job, and they did an outstanding job as my TAC officers. They taught me so much. I did so many push-ups. Oh man, my shoulders are hurting just remembering it. But I am grateful for them, for what they did, for the time they helped me. There was I'm not going to say his name, but there was another deputy with the sheriff's Ventura County Sheriff Department that when I was young, it's better now, I thought faster than I was able to write. Okay, my brain was faster than I could think faster than I could write. So we were taught how to write reports and all that stuff. So I had terrible handwriting. because my brain is thinking this. I'm trying to keep up, and this one deputy took me aside, sat me down, and had me rewrite all these memos, all these reports, using a certain stylus writing guide. And he's like, relax, we're gonna rewrite these, and we're doing it the right way. Use this to help you. And at the beginning I was nervous because this guy's the same guy, that's different guy than the short guy. But I don't want to say his name out of respect for him. But years later when I was in college, I resigned. I stopped. I was out of the Police Explorers. I took a turn a little too fast, a little faster than I should have, okay? And guess who pulled me over? All right, the same deputy. And he comes up to the car, looks at me, I roll down the window, and he probably already did the wants and warrants check and remembers my name. Because if you look at my last name, it'll be hard to forget, okay? And he's like, sir, do you remember me? And I'm like, yes, deputy, I will never forget you. I hope he took it the right way, but I was grateful for him, and I will never forget him. He wasn't my main advisor officers. For each Explorer post, that's what they're called, has advisors, police officers that I think most of their time as advisors was either voluntary or overtime, because obviously they were with us, not on duty, not on official duty. I loved all my advisors. I had great officers. I respect and care about them all, and I'm very grateful for every single one of them. Okay, they helped me become the person I am today. And only due to injuries, injuries, am I not in the military or police officer. But with their help, if it wasn't for my injuries, I would have been, they would have been my examples, and it would have been an honor to have the same job as they did, to be in law enforcement or military. And they would be the people that I would be great or thank for preparing me for such a role, okay, for such a position. And these are the men and women that, again, help me be the man that I am today, okay? I would not be able to do what I'm doing, have this podcast, be a substitute teacher if it wasn't for them. And if masculinity is, I'm trying to bring it back to my topic, is destroyed, okay? These type of men that I looked up to so much would not be able to do what they're doing, okay? Because they wouldn't be allowed to do what they're doing. That buff TAC officer, although he was short, first of all, no gangbanger suspect would want to mess with him. He might be short, but his bicep is bigger than your head, okay? No one's going to want to mess with them, okay? But if masculinity was outlawed, he wouldn't have been able to work out. He wouldn't be able to yell at this 14-year-old cadet that, I didn't have an attitude wrong, but I was learning the ways of law enforcement. And this is one of the best ways to teach young people, young men, young women about that and the seriousness of what we were being taught. And how to think clearly and act appropriately under stress. Imagine being shot at by a gang, and you have to focus, because you not only have to take out the shooters, but you have to be aware of who's behind the shooters. Is it a school? Is it a hospital? Is it a brick wall? Is the caliber of your firearm able to go through that brick wall? What's behind that brick wall? All while you're being shot at. And the criminals don't care who's behind you. They don't care. But you have to care. And you have to be thinking about this during the chaos. And that is, I believe, one of the purposes of, like, when you have 3 TAC officers yelling at your face, spit's going everywhere, and you have to think clearly, answering their question, and not calling the female officer sir, when you have 2 other TAC officers calling you, or that you do call sir, and you have to answer each one of their questions, and it's like chaos, but you have to calm the brain down, think clearly, answer the appropriate questions, act accordingly, obey the orders, and adapt and overcome the next obstacle. Move forward. Don't quit. Okay? If feminism had their way, there would be no explorers. I would not be the man I am today. Those deputies and those officers would not have been allowed to do what they were doing, all because of feminism and the lack of real masculinity. Okay? I could just imagine, like, I was blessed to have outstanding parents. I was blessed to have my parents discipline me, and I mean spanking, and to when I was like 12, and when I turned 13, it was push-ups, it was sit-ups, it was being grounded, it was taking things that I liked away. Mostly it was push-ups and push-ups. Okay, I disrespected mom, I snapped at her, push-ups. And if it was rebellion, then it was a spanking. But those were rare, especially after I turned 13. But if I was not disciplined, I could just imagine the chaos I could have caused. And some kids, especially boys, cause so much chaos that the next step is going to like a military school or going to like a boot camp style discipline camp or whatever. And these current or former drill instructor veterans pretty much put these young men in a little boot camp, okay? And they teach them discipline and how a man should act, how a good man should, what he should do and how he should act in life, okay? But at the beginning, it's the intense, face-to-face, yelling, screaming. You're in the gunny's world. You're in the sergeant first class's world. You're in the staff sergeant's world. You're not in your mommy's world. Okay? You're in your drill instructor's world, and he's going to show you reality. That is masculinity. Okay? That is teaching a boy how to be a man in a chaotic environment, and then teach him how to think clearly and how to act appropriately in that chaotic environment. And he will learn that he doesn't like this chaotic environment, but he will do the next best thing in this chaotic environment to survive and even thrive. Okay? Because he has been taught by these men that even in a chaotic environment, even during chaos, you can still survive. You do not have to resort to the lowest common denominator. And you might be uncomfortable, but you are in control of yourself and your actions. You don't have to react violently because you're not in danger, in real danger. You might be uncomfortable. You might not like the situation, but you are not in danger. Okay? You can take the yelling, you can take the spit, and you can take the taps of the drill sergeant's hat on your head. A little tap, hello, a little hellos. And you can learn so much by going through something like that. I also believe our veterans are some of the best people that we have on this planet, especially in this country. Not only did every single one of them go through a boot camp and had that drill instructor experience, but they have learned to react in a chaotic environment and continue doing what they have to do. And I wish there was I wish there was a class in every single school, and I wish every single student, boys and girls, had to take that class, because it would make that student a better person. It's going to be chaotic at the beginning. They say the drill instructor breaks down the civilian and builds up the soldier or the Marine or the airman or the sailor or the Coast Guardsman or the spaceman with Space Force. We all need that, but especially young men. Young men have puberty hits and these feelings and emotions, and they're a little crazy. And what do I do with them? And the only person that can tell me about this is mom, because she's a single mom. And yeah, she's doing the best she can, but I don't know how to handle it. And she said I can't play football because I might get hurt. Every boy, especially a son of a single mom, a boy needs a father, at the very least a father figure. So single moms out there, put your kids in sports with good coaches, because that's the closest thing to a father figure that he might ever have. And if you're a Christian, okay, and you're a single mom, get your kid into sports and into whatever youth group that your church has, okay? Hopefully with a really good youth pastor, okay? Get him in front of good men that are willing to not only be good fathers to their kids, but to fill that role of a father figure in the kids of single moms, okay? That's a need. Boys need men to teach them, okay? Because a woman cannot teach a young man on how to be a man. I'm not even sorry. I was going to say, I'm sorry to say this, I'm not. Okay? Single moms, that you cannot teach your boys how to be men. You can teach your boys how to be women, okay? And that doesn't turn out well. There's a reason why so many men in prison, it turns out that they have single moms. And there's a reason why so many girls in the on the stripper pole, I'm just going to say it, okay? There's a reason why there are so many women on the stripper pole. Turns out that they have single moms. And I'm not saying that these single moms didn't do the best they could. It's just they did what they could, and they either pushed the men away, pushed the father away. In most cases, they pushed the father away. In a few cases, the father left and abandoning them. But that's fewer than that's not the amount that you think. Okay, most women push the fathers away, and that's a fact. And ultimately, the kids, especially the boys, are the ones that hurt. And that needs to stop. Okay. Men need to be allowed to be men. Okay. Masculinity should be welcomed. It should be promoted. There should be competitions. There should be boys in school should be allowed to recess should come back. Okay, you're in 12th grade, you're doing recess, you're running around, you're doing something athletic, you're playing sports, and you're working out, and you're getting fit, especially as a young teenager. You're in sports, martial arts, gymnastics, something that you're working out. It should be a must-have for all boys. You're in one of these athletic classes, or you don't graduate. Okay, and you have to graduate that course, and that course is held. The importance of that class should be as high as your math and science and history classes. None of these, we're doing this, we're doing testing, so no PE. No. Especially for boys, young men, PE and the athletic courses should be as important, if not more important, okay? You can live without the higher math courses, okay? Most of these higher math courses are just a waste of time, okay? Everybody should know multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Anything beyond that is extra. And I'm saying this as a teacher, okay? I would much rather have my students know how to do their own taxes, how to control their anger, and where are the right places to express their thoughts, their anger, or to de-stress, like how to de-stress. I'm angry, where should I put this anger? Sometimes you just let it go. Sometimes the best, I don't want to recommend a punching bag as a stress release, but the hitting the bag and you're focusing on your technique and all that stuff, and yes, your stress and anger might be released, but it's not, you're not picturing your teacher or your boss's or your spouse's face on the punching bag, okay? Which I think in most cases it could be what guys do. No, that anger toward that person needs to be released in another way. If not, just let it roll off your shoulders, okay? They need to focus on something else instead of that anger. But they need to be taught how to do that and where to do that by good men. Good masculine men know where to go to release that anger, because they all men have a beast inside of them, okay? And this beast is capable of the most violent acts ever displayed. Okay? Every single one. Your little 5-year-old son, single moms, he is going to be, one day going to be capable of extreme violence. And you are this close of him enacting on that or using that violence against you or someone else, unless he is taught how to control his anger and how to, I wouldn't even say tame the beast, because how to control the beast. Because good men are called upon to serve in our military, in our police forces, and they need to call on that beast and act on that, use that extreme violence on our enemies. But how can you ask someone who's been told to not do something to now do something against this enemy, having never even scratched the surface of what the beast is capable of doing? Our military, our police forces need to know not only how to control their beast, but also needs to know when and where to release that beast in that combat environment, and how and when to call that beast back when the combat is over, and how to live a good life having released that beast. And I'm saying things how, like, I've never been in combat. I've been in martial arts. I've sparred a lot. That's how I got my injury. And I love sparring. I love martial arts. But ultimately, that I got kicked in the eye. Got a detached retina, and was medically disqualified by. It was found when I was in ROTC. I had to resign from that, and then I tried to enlist in the Air Force and Army. Both medically disqualified me because of my injury, even though it's healed, and a note from my doctor saying that I am combat ready. But anyway, the past's the past. Okay. Likelihood, I wouldn't have survived the military. I would have, because if my buddy is wounded, I'm going to get him. He is not going to die alone. So I would have been deleted. Either my body would be in the hills of Afghanistan or the streets of Iraq, but I would not be alive. No one hurts my friends. No one hurts my family. And if you do, I will destroy you. And I would have been put in that situation, and I would have done the best I can to bring my soldiers, my airmen home, but I most likely would not have come home. So, like, my friend didn't come home. And I have friends who did come home, but they left pieces of themselves over there. I would like to say that if I did come home, that that not too much would have changed, but I don't know. Yeah. So I've talked a lot. Tell me your story, okay? Comment below. It doesn't have to be a full story, but let me know what you think about what I said. Do you think society would live, if not thrive, without masculinity? Let's say masculinity disappeared. Of course, men stay here, but their masculinity disappeared. All men are feminine. how would society live? Would it live? Or would it be destined to fall apart? I think it would be the same thing would happen if all the men disappeared, society would collapse. If masculinity, men were still here, but the masculinity disappeared, men would just give up. It would be like that racehorse. Society would fall apart. Okay, probably even faster than it would have if men just disappeared and women were just left to fend for themselves. Society would fall apart. Society, this world needs masculinity. This world needs good men, good fathers, good husbands. Okay, they need good men to teach the next generation. I'm sorry, ladies, but you cannot cut it by yourselves. We need good men. Let me know what you think. We're going to go ahead and end it there. Comment, subscribe. Again, it would definitely help me out if you would subscribe to my Bandcamp. $3 a month. You get access to all my songs. A little over 2,700. I have more songs released than the average music artist and producer. But no one, I can't say no one. I am extremely grateful. I have currently, as of today, I have 340 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing and listening to my content. That was my music channel. I have about 5 subscribers on my podcast channel, and that might be my fault. I don't know. But if you can subscribe to my music channel, my podcast channel, and my Bandcamp, that would help me out a lot, and it would help me make better content and reach more people, reach more men to help. And let's go ahead and end it there. All right. Thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you later.